Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing a 2020 model year limited edition of 50 pieces in stainless steel from Moser Cie. This is the Endeavour Center Seconds Concept Double Hairspring. A 50-piece series, 40 millimeters in diameter by 10.9 millimeters thick, 47.6 millimeters lug-to-lug, and 20 millimeters between the lugs. Taking a quick look at the watch on the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You get a good sense of it. Here's your down the barrel shot. Lugs nowhere near the edge of my wrist. The watch is thin, under 11 millimeters thick with a sloped bezel. It will slide easily underneath a dress cuff. And then here's your over-the-top shot. You can see I've got pretty good margins on both sides. I'd recommend it for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and yes, it will slip under a dress cuff. Taking a quick look at the hardware and the software. The strap's best described as anthracite, somewhere between gray and black with a semi-gloss finish, a large rectangular scale alligator leather, a monotone stitch, and as you can see there are sheer profiles on the edge showing the layers of leather. It is a Moser factory strap, and as you can see this one is calf skin on the bottom, gator on the top, and paired with a simple no-nonsense Moser stainless steel pin buckle. Now the timepiece has a lovely sculpted case. The Endeavour has always been beautiful in this regard as Moser machines and then hand finishes its case across model lines in order to be able to get this kind of depth and sculpting within the profile of the case. So you have vertical satin finish on the side, mirrored hollows on the flanks, lovely polished lug hoods, and then you can see that the bezel is concave all the way around, and there is a conical knurled Moser branded crown. The dial, it is both Fume and Concept, and for that matter, it's also Funky Blue. Let's explain all of this. 5 years previous to this watch, which came out in 2020, Moser launched its first concept dial, a dial with no indices, no branding, no text, nothing, completely unmarred and spare. The Fume fade from bright at the center to dark at the edge has also become a Moser signature, and then the specific color you can see on a metallic sunburst grain, it's called Funky Blue at its brightest in the center. So all three of these things distinctive of Moser, and this was effectively a 5th anniversary piece celebrating 5 years of the concept dial. You can see that the seconds hand has been not quite blackened, it's a very dark violet black. It's been fired to create this oxidized tone. It's not simply lacquered or anodized. And then the hands themselves are faceted down their center, polished leaf style hands. And as you can see, the watch does feature hacking or stop seconds. Flip it all over, water resistant down to 30 meters. It's a sporty watch, perhaps not a sports watch, though a dress watch in steel does give you options. And you can see that the watch includes the caliber HMC 200 with some changes. Now, HMC 200 is a magic lever style pawl-based bidirectional winder with a 72-hour power reserve, and this watch is that. It is also braced against shock with free sprung balance and full balance bridge, beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. But what really sets this particular assembly apart is the fact that there are two flat hairsprings that are 180 degrees opposed to each other. So because flat hairsprings have non-centered mass, they tend to cause the watch to run fast or slow depending on their orientation with respect to gravity. But if you take two flat hairsprings, you align them 180 degrees opposed. When one seeks to run fast, the other will slow down and vice versa. Effectively, it's the same purpose for which the tourbillon was originally invented, but unlike a tourbillon, which requires you to always have the watch in one orientation in a pocket, this particular setup works in a wristwatch format, and it is brilliant in that regard. So you have the double hairspring, and the signature of the double hairspring watches at Moser is that blued balance bridge. You can also see that it's nicely finished, combination of mechanical and hand finishing, but thoughtfully done. The stud holders are black polished. You can see that there's engine turning or perlage on the base plate. You can also see that there are double crested, that is double striped Cote de Genève across the bridges. There is a lovely machined bevel, and then two different finishes on the rotor, which is rose gold plated tungsten. And you can see that there are brushed surfaces as well as media blasted surfaces, and it uses a rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff for better shock tolerance. This timepiece has it all going on, making more of less. That is what you get with the concept. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.